there, welcome to my channel. My name is Linda. I've got some fun DIY crafts for you today just coming your way. So what are we waiting for? Let's get started. Today we will be working on some DIY farmhouse home decor crafts. Let's get started with project number 1. For this simple and easy project, I walked into Hobby Lobby and I was just going to go look for some kind of thin fabric that I could use for, making some cute kitchen towels. And I walked over near the muslin area and there's some cute fabric for some towels already done for us with the ticking stripe on it. And it's nice because the edges are already finished off. All we have to do is kind of finish off the end, however short we want to cut it. Now, my Hobby Lobby only had like the blue and the red. So, that's what I'll use today. You could use these flour sack towels from Walmart. It's only about 4 inches short in width. So, a nice viable option, and you get about about $5. I think this ran like around $7 a yard, but and I picked it up on like a 30% off sale. So I just ironed one edge here because I do want to cut it down about 8 inches off or so and make it about the length of those towels that you can get from Walmart. But I just thought this was a nicer looking kind of thing because the Walmart ones, you got to iron them out and they're a little bit cruddy, but they work. It's cheap, it's inexpensive. But what I want to do is I'm going to come in first on the cut edges, and I'm just going to fold it up just about 1/4 of an inch here because I want to make that look finished off, of course. So I'm just ironing it up here. You don't have to do that. I'm just ironing it up first so that it just stays in position for me. Get this finished up, and then I'm going to do the same thing on the other edge, and you can see it's already done here. Magic of camera editing. I'm going to use Beacon Fabri-Tac glue for this, but you could use hot glue as well. Nice and easy. And of course, I'm going to come across and, make sure this is all glued down. I have no issues with using Beacon Fabri-Tac glue. It will run through the dryer with high heat very well. I have ever not had any problems with that. I've used it on some cute little patches on my jeans and ran it through the dryer. It's been 4 or 5 years now, and those patches are still stuck, and all I did was use Beacon Fabri-Tac glue. So once I fold one end up, I'm going to come back in and do it a second time, just so any of those threads on that first turn up are securely, hidden or fastened underneath, so our second turn up so that they won't unravel. And again, I'm just turning it up about 1/4 to a 1/2 inch here, and I'm just ironing it down so it's nice and easy. Do that on both ends. Other end I did off camera, and then I'm just doing the same thing here, coming along with my Beacon Fabri-Tac glue to help tack this and glue it down nicely. Looks all beautiful, and you can see how it looks from the other end. And you could leave it like this. You don't have to do anything, but I want to bring in some cute little pom-pom trim. And so I'm just going to measure out here, the length I need, and I will cut 2 of those. And this pom-pom trim I get at Hobby Lobby, and then when you get it for the half off, then it's only like $1.50 for 3 yards, and then I'll usually buy like 4 or 5 spools of that. Just so I'm stocked up because I like to use it for Christmas time for garlands and everything as well. I'm going to secure this again with Beacon Fabri-Tac glue, making sure I have enough on there, of course, to hold this pom-pom trim. But it's just a nice, simple touch here to add to the bottom. You could add some crochet lace or something like that if you want something different. Again, you don't have to add anything. It just makes it look a little more, dare we say the words, high end. Sometimes I think we use that word a lot, but it does look really nice. Here's the bottom finished. And now for this next part, I have a free printable for you on my blog. I'll have it in a PDF and a PNG for you. I'll also list the fonts for you as well, in case you just want to type it out yourself and add your own little heart element there. I, of course, have elected to do this one with iron-on vinyl, but if you buy this from Walmart, it says for use on light colored fabric. It runs around $10. Sometimes you get 5 sheets, sometimes 7. All you do is take your PDF if you don't have an electronic cutting machine, and you download it and you printed mirror image onto those transfers. It explains everything very easily on the back side of the envelope that, you know, holds those transfers on the back side of the packaging. In fact, I'll be doing that on my upcoming video. We're going to use those, and they look really nice. Okay, so once I've got this all ironed on, of course, I'm peeling off my transfer sheet, and then I'm peeling off the transfer sheet on the heart. That makes this very simple, beautiful project complete. Let's move on to project number 2. For this project, which is a dupe, by the way, it's 1.5 yards of fleece fabric, pre-cut, purchased from Walmart. I think it was somewhere around $10. And I chose this because the fabric you choose, you want to make sure it has some stretch to it, okay? It's very important for this. And this fabric is 54 by 60 inches, and we want to make sure that when we cut our fabric for the pillow, we cut it along the length of the 60-inch line. So we've got a nice long piece. Now, the one from Amazon was about 6 inches in width, which is actually about 12 inches. I cut mine to 8 inches. I know it says 9 here, but I readjusted off camera, deciding to go 8 inches. And what I'm doing is I measure out 8 inches, and then I fold it along there, making sure, again, it's still 8 inches, but of course this is going to say 9. I readjust it to 8. This is just how my brain operates, so that when I flip it over, I can cut it on the 16-inch line, and I can just follow the edge of the fabric when I cut, instead of having to worry that, you know, it's straight all the way down at 16 inches. So I make sure I cut that down, and then you can use Beacon Fabri-Tac glue or hot glue for this. Once you get your piece cut out, so you've got 16 inches in width and 60 inches in length, go ahead and make sure your fabric is right sides together, so you have one long tube, okay? And I'm also going to kind of cut off the end of this because I don't need it. And if you're a gluer, you're just going to glue down one short end and all the way down that 60 inches of the long end, and you're going to leave the other short end open now for stuffing. If you're a sewer, I've pinned mine off camera, and I'm just going to sew down that one short end and that long length of 60 inches all the way down, again leaving the short end open for stuffing. We are going to make one of those single knot pillows. I think they're really cute and fun, and actually I made 2 because I made like a plain gray to go with this kind of paisley looking gray, and it looks really cute together. You'll see that in the final looks. Once you've got it glued or sewn, turn your fabric right side out, and then go ahead and stuff your pillow. Now, the thing to remember with the stuffing, you can stuff, what I did is about 12 inches on each end, the sewn end, then you've got your center, and then 12 inches on the other end. Those 12 inches I packed kind of nice and tight with the stuffing. The center between those kind of two ends, pack a little bit looser because we want to tie it into a knot. So we don't want it stuffed really tight where we can't get it into a knot, right? So you can stuff your ends really tight, but medium stuffing through the center of that. So I'm just start stuffing here, and then I'll do the rest off camera. And once you've got it stuffed, if you're a gluer, you can go ahead and glue it closed. But I would suggest that before you glue it closed, make sure you kind of turn down your ends, your fabric ends toward the stuffing, and then glue it closed so it looks nice and finished off. If you're a sewer, you know, turn down your ends in toward the stuffing. I'm pinning it here, and then I'm going to sew it by hand. So I've got needle, thread, of course, knotted at one end. I'm going to bring it in right at the end of that. So from the inside out so I can hide that little knot thread. Then I'm going to start sewing. I'm going to bring my needle from the back to the front, and I'm going to pull it all the way through till my thread is up against the fabric. And then I'm going to come right back around again, poking it from the back to the front, and that thread's going to kind of go up and over the top of the fabric as you see right here. All right, I'm going to do that process all the way through, back to the front, and it pulls that fabric up and over the top of that seam. Back to the front, pulls it up and over the top of that seam. When I get to the end, I like to just kind of leave a little loop, and I'll pull my needle through, keeping that loop open a couple of times, and then pull it all the way tight so it makes a knot and cut off the excess. Now what we want to do is take our two ends of the fabric, bring them together, and find the center of our fabric again. All right, and then we're going to take one end and we're going to cross it over the other long straight end. I'm going to turn this around, make your hole a little smaller, and then take that end and pull it through that little hole so you're making a little half knot basically, right? And then you just start adjusting it, flipping it over, adjusting everything so it all looks nice, and that pillow is done. Super cute, super easy. Let's take a look at comparison. From Amazon, one pillow is $28.99. If you go the route I did with that pre-cut fleece fabric and you buy two bed pillows at Walmart for stuffing, they're $4 each, you can make 3 pillows for $18, and that's a total savings of $22.99 per pillow. And wouldn't these be nice, simple gifts at Christmas? And they would look so cute with like Christmas fabric and stuff. That makes this project complete. Let's move on to project number 3. For this project, I have this 1/2-inch circle thing that I found at a Goodwill store for just a couple of dollars. I've already got it taped off. And then I'm also going to be using this Woodward from Hobby Lobby. It's in their spring section, or was, for $1.99, and then I got it like 40% off, right? And then I'm also going to use some of these hearts. They come in a set of 4, craftingwithkimber.com. I'll have the link down below for you. Now you can do this on a full circle sign or use one of those blank wood circles from Dollar Tree and craft knife and cut one in half if you want. And what I did is I just went about 1.5 inches up from each edge and taped it off. And now I'm just using some fine grit sandpaper because it seems like it has like a little coating on it. And I do want to stain this even though it's already dark, but I just want it a little bit darker. So I'm just kind of taking that top coating off a little bit, making sure I got my tape wrapped around nicely around the edges. So I'm using Waverly Antique Wax mixed with water, Dixie Belle chalk paint in the color Drop Cloth, and Debbie's Design Diary DIY chalk paint and little black dress. So above and below those taped areas, I'm using the stain here to get that a little bit darker. You could, skip this part if your wood's already got a nice dark shade to it, or you can use whatever colors you like, of course, but I just find I always kind of like that stained with that paint mixture when I'm kind of doing signs like this. Making sure I go along the edges, and then of course I would just stain on the back to make it look finished off and complete. And then once that stain's dry, I'm going to retape above right where those nice stained lines are. And then in the center, I'm going to come in with that drop cloth paint and paint through there and along the sides, of course. And I'll do a couple of coats here. Even though I'm going to sand and distress it a little bit off camera, sometimes I just like that look of a couple of coats. But then when I'm going to sand, I'm like, why did I put a couple of coats on here? Well, because I did. Once that's all dry, I'll go ahead and pull the tape off. give us those nice finish crisp lines, and we'll move on to our word and our hearts. I'm just going to use that Debbie's Design Diary chalk paint, little black dress, and I'm going to paint the front of the hearts black. Don't worry, we're going to cover. I'm not going to have black hearts. It's like morbid or something. But, you know, because I'm going to add some paper through the center of them, of course, but I like a little bit of black edging around it. And then I'm going to go ahead and just paint my wood word in black as well along the top, just trying to be nice and gentle here so that I don't get any of, you know, the paint along the edges, because I don't want to have to, you know, try and fix that. So I'm just going nice and slow and gentle, just do a little bit here, finish off camera. Looks beautiful when I'm done. I did do a little bit on each end on the back side because this is actually going to hang off my sign a little bit. I'm going to use this red check paper. Did you think I'd use anything else? I'm tracing hearts. I'm actually tracing 4 because I'm going to use one for the next project as well. And then I'm coming in about 1/8 of an inch in, and I'm redrawing a new pattern perimeter here, and I'm going to cut that out. So basically you can just trace your heart and cut it a little bit shorter all the way around if you would like. Just so a little bit of that wood's going to show around the perimeter. You could just cut it edge to edge if you want and not have any heart showing around there, and then you wouldn't have to worry about painting your hearts as well. Anyway, I'm going to do that for all 3 of my hearts, including the next one for the next project. I'll do that off camera. All right, then once that's done, I'm going to come in here. I'm going to go ahead and distress around the hearts a little bit around the edges. And then I'll distress around the wood word around the edge just a little bit. I don't want too much. And then off camera, I'll just, you know, finish distressing on the sign and stuff too. I'll distress in the center and along the stain edges as well. But again, you know, however much distressing as you want, if you even want that. So for this part, I wanted to add just a little bit more. I think you all have probably seen the quote, welcome-ish, depends on who you are, or how long you stay. I'm just going to do depends who you are. I'm not going to do free printable for this. I cut it out in vinyl, but I was actually going to use the rub-on letters that you can find at Dollar Tree, but I couldn't find where I place mine. You could also use stickers, really easy, but since I couldn't find my rub-on letters, cut it out in vinyl, so I'm going to put that right here, of course, at the bottom of the center painted area, because the welcome-ish word will go right above it. Now I'm taking the open end of my scissor blades and I'm just scraping along the edges of my paper hearts here, give it a little bit of a rustic look. You can see there's some sewing on it off camera. I sewed around the edges of my hearts. Now if you're not a sewer, a fine tip Sharpie marker and some cute little dash lines would just give you that little bit of look of Farmhouse, which would be, you know, super cute, of course. Or again, just leave it plain. Using my Beacon Fabri-Tac glue here, I'm going to go ahead and add glue to all the paper hearts, and then we'll go ahead and get them on to the wooden hearts. I don't know, I'm a lover of this red plaid. I think however many last project I used wood hearts on, you all know I use the red plaid. I'm getting down. You saw that little piece of paper. I don't know what color I'm going to choose next. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and glue down my wood word, again, up above our little vinyl area there. I think it looks super cute. And then I'm going to glue down my hearts. Now, originally, you see me gluing here, I got my hearts far apart, but off camera, I decided to move my hearts a little closer together. And then also, so you'll see that in the final looks, there was something missing along the center. So off camera, I took that black paint, mixed it with water, did a little splattering. We'll do that in the next project so you can see the process of how to do that. But then once I do that, that makes this project complete. Let's move on to our last project, number 4. For this project, I'm using this cute little rainbow wood home decor piece from Dollar Tree. I will sand all the paper off off camera, and then I'm going to use another one of these little wood hearts as I discussed in our last project from craftingwithkimber.com. So here you see my pieces all done and ready to go. And now I'm taping about a 1/2 inch up from the top and bottom. And I messed up when I did this. There's no words. I'll just try to explain it how to do it right. My brain was not quite working right. I don't know if there was enough caffeine. I have no clue. So I taped it up about a 1/2 inch from the bottom and a 1/2 inch from the top. And I'm just staining around it just like we did the last project. Top, bottom, around the sides and the back. And then I come in and I had taped it off with that green tape first because it's about 1 inch wide. And when I come in here with some washi tape, I do it like I forget to do it opposite. So I start with a 1/2 inch of washi tape, and then I come in with about a 1/4 inch of washi tape, leaving about a 1/4 inch space. So I kind of get some thick and thin lines, right? You know, the ticking stripes we like to do. But for some reason, when I did the bottom, I did just the exact same at the top. I needed to reverse it. I needed the wide at the top and bottom and the skinny little tapes both in the center. So do what I say and not what I do. Anyway, once that's taped off, I come in with that drop cloth paint and I paint my areas that are, have no tape in them. So as I pull it off here, I'm still not quite seeing it. And then I pull the top off and I'm like, what's wrong with this picture? Could have left it, but didn't like it. And then I realized what's wrong with it. And I'm like, I'll fix it in a minute. Okay. So I go ahead and I'm going to tape off the areas that I had just painted, and I'm going to come in and stain those other areas. Now, technically what you should have done is actually tape it off and paint first, and then you can go in and stain everything in one swoop. But for some reason, my brain just was not working it. But in the end, it all turns out fine. Do what I say and not what I do. Tape your lines, paint first, then tape over those painted lines and stain the rest of it. So off camera, I go ahead and sand the bottom area where I had painted that little thin line, and then I retape it so I can come back in and repaint my little thin line. So now we're kind of, back in the area. It all works out. It'll look good. But, I have to go a few extra steps. And then I decide that area where I had sanded, I kind of like that. So I go in and make it look like I did it all intentionally on purpose. And I come in and I really sand heavily in those stained areas to all make it look cohesive. Sand around the edges a little bit. Here's what it looks like. Looks much better. And now I'm going to come in and distress my paper heart just like we did in the last project. I've already sewn around the edges. Again, you can make cute little dash sewing lines if you're not a sewer. And we'll get this glued on to our heart. It's already sanded because remember I did that in the last project. Ready to go, set that aside. And for this part, I do have a free printable for you. It does come with the heart. For those of you with electronic cutting machines, I have the PNG for you, and when you go to cut it out, you can leave the heart and do it all in vinyl, or you can take the heart out, but the heart is there for placement for you to put like about a 1.5 inch wood heart in there. Those of you with no electronic cutting machines, you can, download it as a PDF, use some carbon paper, and then you can trace it on and put it on that way. Anyway, so you can see here, I placing my vinyl quote down. I have removed the heart. It's got just enough space there to put in the wooden heart. Looks really cute. I like how it's turning out here. I like how this is small. It's going to look cute on a tiered tray. And then, of course, gluing down the wood heart in the center. Love it. And here I am. I've taken that black paint, watered down, and a fan brush. I dip it in the paint, kind of wipe off the excess, and I tap the fan brush. That's how you get splatters, for those of you who might not know how to do that. Really simple, adds a nice, cute little subtle touch, and that makes this project complete. So I hope you enjoyed all of these fun farmhouse projects. They are nice and easy, will look cute in anybody's decor. Love how they turned out. Leave me a comment down below and let me know what you thought of these projects and which one you would like to make right now. I mean, I'm not talking yesterday or tomorrow. I'm talking like right now in about 10 minutes. I'm just kidding you. Please give this video a thumbs up. It really, 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 really helps my channel to grow. And if you walked in here for the first time and you're just checking things out and you're digging what you saw today, make sure before you click off, you hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss out on another project from me. Before I go, I'm going to leave you with one final thought. The time is now to stop where you are, think about where you have been, and look forward to what will come, not on your own, but with the blessings from our Lord Jesus Christ. He has always been with you and will continue to be with you. He will tend to your needs and your desires always. He will lead you and guide you in times of trouble and laugh with you in times of joy. He will never stand still waiting for things to happen. He is always at work in your life. Your faith must choose to believe this. Your heart must choose to listen to this. Your soul must move in the way of the King. You live and have your being in the one and only God who formed you and set you upon this earth in this time and in this place. He accepts you as you are and looks at you in love so that you can succeed in all the goodness in your life. He looks at no record of wrongs but extends his mercy to deliver you in the way of his righteousness. Your focus should be on him. Your spirit should soak in his grace. Every day your life has purpose if you love God, and it should be meaningful to know and hear that you are fully known and deeply loved by him. Have faith in God, and all will be well with your soul. Look up to the one who holds your heart. Do not fear knowing that God is with you. Hold on to his hope. Hold on to his grace. Forever he shall be with you. Freely he gives you life, and forever you shall be with him. You must allow your heart to know that you can step out in faith knowing that God will be with you. You can stand upon his solid rock. You can build that firm foundation of faith with the living God. Trust in him because with him you have the strength to succeed. With him he will keep you from falling off that rock and hold you still. Sometimes, the road is difficult, not easy. The valley seems dry, but you will not fail. You have nothing to lose with God on your side. He will protect you and guide you. The time to trust is now. I thank you for sharing your time with me, and I'll talk with you again soon. Bye.